Welcome to Excel Radio with Dr. Nick Zyrowski, where we talk with world-class entrepreneurs, executives, and health experts who have unlocked the secrets to excel health and performance.
Hi, and welcome to Excel Radio. This is your host and high-performance expert, Dr. Nick Zyrowski. On this episode, I'm going to be speaking with Ashley, and we're going to be giving you some updates as to some of the cool things we have going on at New Vision Health Center. You see, on the show, I bring on entrepreneurs, health gurus, people who are really masters in their own space. But one of the things that I rarely do is actually talk to you about what we're doing in order to help you raise your level of health. And so on this episode, what I'm going to do is talk to you about some of the things I'm doing in my life personally to raise my level of health, some of the things I'm doing with my coaching clients in regards to exercise and supplementation, and some of the things that you should do in order to raise the bar when it comes to your health. So we'll talk about some of the details of those topics, and then also Ashley's going to share with you some of the details as to what she's doing in order to raise her level of health as well. Now lastly, we're recording this show live on our Facebook page. So in the future, we'll try to announce when we're going to be doing so. And you can actually just go on there and you can drop questions as we are recording live, and we will answer your questions live on the show. So we want to make the show more interactive, so look out for those announcements through email or just on our Facebook page. So if you're not following us on Facebook, be sure to do so, and we will try to announce in the future when we will do a live Q&A podcast, and you can go on, as I already said, drop your questions in and we'll answer them live on the show to make it more interactive with you, the listeners. All right, so let's go ahead and get started then. So, like I said, we're just doing this Q&A live, and one of the things with our podcast is I bring on a lot of guests. I bring on guests that are talking about all types of things. We talk about things in the health world, we talk about things in the entrepreneurial world, and the reason that we talk about both of those things is because at New Vision Health Center, we work with entrepreneurs and professionals. And so, some people ask, like, why is it that you do that? And, it's just because in the environment that I'm raised in the environment that I hang out in, I really don't know anything different. The entrepreneur community is something that I'm a big part of. And, it's these same people, these same working professionals that typically have many health concerns. And so I work with a lot of them one-on-one doing health coaching. And, we run lab tests on them and, go into the whole gamut of what is necessary for them to get well. And so we do that. And so we bring on these entrepreneurs, a lot of the same people even that I work with, onto the show. And they share an immense amount of value. And the show is called Excel Radio if you're just jumping on Facebook and following us for the first time. And so what I wanted to do in this episode is go ahead and talk about what we're doing here, because I really never get a chance to talk about what we're doing here at New Vision Health Center. And, beyond the podcast and the radio show that we do, we also put out a lot of great things to help people. So the podcast being one of the amazing free resources that we have to help people out. And then beyond that, blog posts, blog posts, what else?
We're on here. We have our New Vision Excel community where we're answering questions, giving tips, resources, things like that. It's just, we are constantly involved with helping people. And, he was just mentioning about working with high-performing individuals and professionals. And the reason that there's a group of people there that need our help. And if you're stressed, if you are running a lot, running to and from, the stress hormones that are working on your body, you're making poor life decisions just because you're busy, you're grabbing the easiest option for food, you're not working out because you're busy and stressed. The stress hormones, cortisol, you have, jacked up cortisol and hormone levels, and this all over the course of a couple decades or even just a few years rather, can do some serious damage to your body. And that's why he works with those people as well, is because there's a serious need. And unfortunately, a lot of Americans suffer from these stress-related health issues. And so Anyway, back to the free resources. Kind of went off on a little rabbit trail back, to what you were talking about. But, free resources, there's a variety of different ways to get connected with us, in above health coaching.
Right. NewVisionExcel.com. You can follow the blog. You can follow the podcast. You can be on the Facebook community. We have all these different things where we're answering questions and helping people out. So like beyond the health coaching and working with professionals, we put a lot out there. So we want to make sure that you guys are aware of this and you are going to NewVisionExcel.com. You're able to use these free resources because, with the health coaching that I do with the professionals, right? I mean, these guys are typically the people who, I have some people that I'm working with that are working over 80 hours a week. Like, for me, that's even a little extreme, and I do tend to work a lot of hours without a doubt. But, it's extreme, and a lot of these individuals run themselves right into the ground. Recently, we've worked with somebody who reversed arthritis. We've worked with people who have reversed IBS, Crohn's disease. We have worked with people and reversed, we have test data to show this. This isn't like somebody showed up and it said, we said, I think you have this, and then they got better. It was literally, we run tests in order to determine that they have these things. There's people who have inflammatory markers and all these, heart disease factors that are off the charts on their lab tests, and then they reverse those as well. And we see them come out of, we see them start and they're, overweight, they're suffering from heart problems or suffering from hormonal problems and all these different types of
they're lethargic. They feel like
issues.
They can't be a part of day-to-day life. They're missing out on opportunities at work, missing out on opportunities at their home life. Just really a quality of life issue on top of the serious biomarkers that we're testing for. Biomarkers that are telling us like you will have serious disease in your future if you don't correct this now. And one of the other tests that I think is really interesting that you don't usually talk about is the Telomere Test to really, the one that I'll let him explain.
Yeah, so there's a Telomere Test, and measuring one's telomere is actually the most accurate way to know your age, because as you age, the end of the telomere will lose its length over time. And so for instance, you may be 30 years old, but you may have the body of a 40-year-old, or maybe it's vice versa. So anyway, with the Telomere Test, you can tell that, and it's quite fascinating to see. But we do, we run a lot of different tests on with people, and determine what their health issues are. But like I said, beyond that, beyond the testing, beyond the health coaching, we have so many resources that we put out on a regular basis. Recently, one of the sections that we started up on the website was work life, and it was just because I work with a lot of professionals, and they struggle from a lot of the same problems. So some of these topics that I consistently see come up, I've actually started doing some blog articles. Starting a business and a family at the same time, and I see people struggle with that. I've struggled with that. I see people who struggle with just burnout. People who struggle with, hey, what do I take to work, and what healthy snacks do I eat? So anyway, we started that section just to kind of fulfill a need. And so great free resources.
Why do we do it for free, right? Because that seems silly. Why would we work so hard for free? But it's because we have a passion to help people. Unfortunately, we live in a very sick care system. People are getting sick and they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars after the fact trying to regain their health. And we believe that health can come from within, and that you can maintain health well into your 80s and 90s. It's definitely possible. People are living, there's centurions that are living and thriving. They're out in the fields working, and they're enjoying life well into their 90s. And unfortunately, that's not something we see in America. People are getting sick. They're, at 50, they're already taking a handful of medications just to make it through. And that's not health. That's not health. So we think that you need to be able to take health into your own hands and really maintain optimal health for life. And we want to help as many people as possible do that. And that's why we put out these free resources.
So, in order to help people out and get them have the health that they deserve or the health that they dream of, we put all these things out there. And one of the cool topics that I recently have been focusing a lot on, and I wrote a blog article a while ago about it, but one of the things that I did recently is I wrote an ebook that we're actually going to be coming out with shortly, and it's all on sleep, because sleep is a big issue for the people that I work with. And the average person is not getting the proper amount of sleep, whether you're a working professional or you're just a family person. With a young family, raising a family. I mean, sleep is a real struggle the struggle is real for many people out there.
If you have kids, the struggle is real.
Right.
But really, even if you don't have kids, people lay in bed hours at night and they can't shut their brain off. Or they fall asleep at night and they're waking up at 3 a.m. ready to go, and they don't know why.
So with us, with just doing what we do and having kids, it became a issue for me. As far as sleep goes, it became a huge issue for me. And what I had noticed is that, probably say like March of this year, one of the things that I started having an issue with was my blood pressure, which is really strange for a young guy like me. And it's funny because
young guy who's also taking really good care of his health.
Typically, it's funny because I swear at some point in my life I suffer from every health problem out there. But the good news is that I learn from it, and it really helps me out so much with my patients, as much as I don't enjoy it a whole lot. But one of the weird things that happened to me is my blood pressure just it just was really uncontrollable for a while. And so it became really frustrating for me because here I am, I'm exercising, right? What are all the natural things that they tell you to do when you have high blood pressure, right? Start eating right, cut the sugar out, cut the caffeine out, cut the, work out on a regular basis, cut out all the carbs. So anyway, all these things that they say to do on a regular basis is something that I was already doing. And so, besides coffee, I would drink coffee with caffeine in it. Or I would have tea with caffeine in it as well. So the only thing I really was doing is drinking caffeine. And so anyway, this became this big issue for me. And like I said, I started brainstorming and started doing all the natural things. I was even doing the supplements that are suggested for it. And it turns out that the reason that my blood pressure was an issue for me was because of sleep. So one of the things that looking back, and I can correlate to this issue, is that we had our son was born, prior to that. And so what happened through that whole process is that I basically was going and working normal days, long hours like I do. And at night I was not sleeping because obviously a newborn and even a very young toddler, they don't sleep a whole lot at night. Well, they
do, but there's the waking and the putting back to sleep and things like that. It's disruptive sleep.
It's very disruptive sleep. And so for someone like me who is a light sleeper, it was actually a bigger issue than I would have ever thought. With that said, I would find myself basically, sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night, which isn't enough. So after probably, just complete burnout, and I don't know how long I was doing this before it actually became an issue, but the blood pressure became an issue. And nonetheless, I eventually figured it out that it was related to my sleep. So after I started researching all the different things and topics about sleep and how to improve your quality of sleep, this issue actually went away for me. And so when it comes to sleep and you're having, a newborn, and I'm not the health guru who just sits back and doesn't have kids and doesn't have a business and doesn't have any real things going in my life, and then telling people who have all that going on, this is what you need to do. I'm not that guy. There's plenty of other people out there doing that if that's what you're looking for. But anyway, I'm in the trenches doing these things. And so as I'm working to get patients well, in the same hand, I'm, have to take care of myself too. But I started researching all these different things that had to do with sleep, and it was, what hours are the best hours to sleep at night, and things like just the mattress that you're sleeping on. You spend like 24 and a half years of your life sleeping. Like, you got to make sure you have good quality gear to sleep with. You need to have a good mattress and good pillow, and then there's so many things that affect your sleeping. What
Proper
you're more
environment.
the environment, the temperature, the what you're doing. Morning or nighttime routine is a big deal. A lot of people talk about morning routines. Nighttime routine is a big deal because your nighttime routine will determine how your morning routine is going to go and whether or not you're going to be able to show up for it. So, anyway, I just researched all that, and I've compiled it all into an ebook, and we're going to be hopefully coming out with that next week. That's our goal, to actually get that done. I actually took some time off of writing blog articles just so I could knock that out and get that done for people. But I wrote it, and it's all things that I have done.
Personally implemented into our lives. He's seen it work. He's measured the progress. And,
right. All things I've personally done.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it has tips on all the things I just mentioned. Temperature, what kind of bed, what kind of pillow, what you should wear to sleep, what a good nighttime routine looks like.
Do you eat at night? Do you not eat at night? Working out at night versus
everything.
not working. Just the whole...
Right, because a lot of people actually at night, they lay in bed and even though they might not actually be consciously aware of it, the next morning, they are not getting good quality sleep. I mean, their hours of sleep are very slim. And that's what happened to me. Like, I wasn't aware that I was sleeping like 3 to 4 hours a night. And there's plenty of ways to measure this, by the way. And so I wasn't aware of it, but my health was certainly aware of it.
Right. And then the restful sleep too, the actual healing and rejuvenating sleep. Are you in bed for the hours that are the most necessary to get that sleep? So he's going to help teach you all of that in the ebook coming out, sleep ebook coming out. So
right. And so, that's one of the things we have coming up that's pretty cool. We've had a lot of new supplements that I've been formulating for patients. We got some cool new products that we've been working with. Anything from just regular multivitamins to the MCT oil.
That's a big one. Neuro Boost is a really big one we do every day. That's the omega supplement.
So let's talk about that, actually, because let's talk about like what type of supplementation you should take every day. Because here's the deal, is that there's a lot of people that I talk to, and when I say supplementation, they kind of like, well, why would I need to do that? Like, I talk to people and they're like, what, I exercise and I eat what they think is right. And that's not enough. Okay. Because here's the deal, is that I eat a very good diet. I eat a very clean diet, right? But I have also done many of these same tests that I do with my patients on myself. And what I have found out is that I had a lot of different nutrient deficiencies. And so if someone who eats as clean as I do and a good balanced diet has nutrient deficiencies, imagine what
typical American eating the standard American diet has.
Yeah. I mean, like, going out to McDonald's and all these other garbage food places a couple times a week.
Having a bagel for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and pasta for dinner, you're not getting the proper nutrients in your body at all.
Right, and that's a reality for a lot of people. And so, anyway, taking a good quality supplement is very important. And so, I really push people to do that, because if I had nutrient deficiencies and I have a balanced diet. Yeah, you did too. Yeah.
I took a nutrient deficiency, and I had several nutrient deficiencies, and I thought I was doing really good. And come to find out, I still had nutrient deficiencies, and it was a variety of reasons, but I was able to identify them and correct them.
So you should really make sure that you're taking a good quality supplement every day. And so here's the ones that I suggest. So first of all, and I'm not saying this type of thing. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, you're saying this to push your brand. Like how offensive. Like I'm not saying, like, I don't care if you get them from me. I'm just saying do it because it's good for your health. Like it's the good thing to do if you want to take care of your health. And so, first of all, a multivitamin, right? A multivitamin with a mineral though, because I can tell you firsthand that from the testing I've done, people typically have mineral deficiencies. So they don't just have a vitamin, A, B, C, or D, or one of these other ones, K2, and mineral deficiencies are a big problem for people. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. And that's because, first of all, most people are taking a multivitamin that doesn't have a mineral. So therefore, they're just getting the vitamins but not the minerals. And then just with the way that mass farming techniques are today, many vegetables actually don't have the minerals they used to. There's some statistics where they've found actually like 50% less vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables compared to 30 years ago. So so you're going to want to make sure that you're actually supplementing above and beyond. And then not to mention, like, okay, I'd consider myself an athlete. I work out between 4 to 6 days a week. I have a busy family life, busy work life. So all these things and these stresses will deplete the body as well. So you got to make sure that you're giving your body the right things and the right nutrients in order to make sure that you're getting what is necessary, because these nutrients, these vitamins, these minerals are the very exact things that your body uses to energize itself, balance hormones, create hormones, and
restore.
Build the cells that you're made of. I mean, our bodies are constantly basically rebuilding themselves and having old cells die off and new cells turning over. So one of those you are what you eat type of thing. Are you a Twinkie, or are you a good healthy apple? But on the same hand, you got to make sure that you have those nutrients that are necessary. So a multivitamin with a mineral is an important one. Specifically, the one that I formulated, I put a phytonutrient in it as well, because once again, it's one of those things that's lacking from fruits and vegetables today. So I put a phytonutrient in mine as well. Now, the other thing I like that I think is an absolute necessity is a probiotic, and also a good omega 369 with a DHA in it. Those are the omegas are so important for brain health, cell health, nervous system function. I mean, these are the bare essentials. This isn't really going above and beyond. Let's say if you have heart problems or if you have cardiovascular issues. I mean, we're just talking about the basic maintenance here. So those things are where I would start if that's an issue, or if you want to start taking care of yourself. Right. Now if you're thinking about your children, what they should do, if for 3 and up.
Our daughter started taking NeuroBoost, and the reason we love it, it's such high quality fish oil supplement that you can chew it, and it doesn't taste fishy at all. So our 3-year-old would just take them, and she calls them vitamin gummies, and she just chews them and eats them. And she's been doing that since she was 3. Before that, though, we did the Kids Play supplements. They're a liquid supplement that we would do with our kids. We would do Brainy Play and then Tough Play. So those are the ones that we would do with our kids, up until they're able to actually swallow a pill.
Yeah, and what are, I'm just trying to think of some of the more cutting edge things that are going on right now in the health world. I know that collagen's a big one.
I love collagen. We've been using that in our home and in our kitchen, and I've seen some awesome results. Yeah. I've kind of talked about it a little bit on Facebook already, but you get older, your skin doesn't rebound like it used to, and although I'm still young, I've had 2 kids already, so No matter how much I was exercising, however much weight I was losing, I still had some baggy skin, and some loose baggy skin that just wasn't going away. And collagen has really made a significant difference with that. So I'm really a big supporter of collagen. Collagen peptides is the one that we recommend from Vital Protein.
Right. And when it comes to collagen, here's the deal, is that there's different ones. Like, so for instance, like now the collagen peptides, you can actually, and we have these in our store, but you can actually put these in like your coffee, and it doesn't like turn into like a gummy coffee. Yeah. Now, like if you try to get like regular, like, just plain old gelatin or collagen, like you're gonna have like some like, it's good for making, like you make gummy treats for the kids and stuff like that, and you can cook with it a little bit. But if you want to put it in your coffee or put it in your drink and you don't want to even notice that it exists in it, you can use the peptides, which are really cool, and people have been seeing great results with that. We have some people that their skin clears up. I'm really surprised, because like I said, this is one of the new cutting edge health things right now that people are just starting to get into.
Absolutely. MCT oil is another really hot one.
MCT
the brain
oil is hot, yeah.
Brain octane or whatever. That's just a huge thing.
Yeah.
So MCT oil is another really awesome energy source. It's basically liquid fuel for your body.
Yeah, and we added that to our product line a little bit ago. But so when it comes to since we're on the topic of coffee, I'll just throw one of these quick things in there, because everybody loves coffee, right?
Oh yeah.
So when you make a coffee in the morning and you want to have a coffee that is like a superfood. First of all, coffee's a strong antioxidant, but you can put the peptides in there, and you can put MCT oil in your coffee as well, blend it, and it's like an awesome superfood, but it's also kind of like a meal at that point too. So many people that I know, they're actually just skipping breakfast or putting those, they're just having that coffee with the peptides and
you're getting your protein, you're getting your good fats. It's really awesome. I sweeten mine with xylitol, and I use organic half and half in my coffee, and it's awesome. I love it, and I'm kind of a coffee snob, so and it's delicious.
Right. So,
and another one, that the most recent product that we just came out with was methylation support. Can you tell them why that's important?
Well, methylation support is important just because when your body is just with all the stressors going on, there's the methylation. What it does is it turns on hormones, turns off hormones. It's like an on and off switch in your body, just sending billions of signals to turn things on and turn things off. And so when you are just ran rugged and worn out, the methylation is depleted. The methylation, or methyl groups as they're called in the body, are depleted, and then from there on out, your body just doesn't turn those stress hormones off and the good hormones on. And so anyway, taking a methylation support, which it's definitely a new science. It's definitely something that's more on the cutting edge. When you take that support, it actually helps those hormones balance out. It helps that anxiety go down. It just helps you. There's so many people that say they feel so much better. So it's really awesome.
Methyl groups also are important for preserving your DNA as well. So if you're methyl depleted, you're not going to be expressing the proper genes. It's the science of epigenetics. You can turn bad genes off and good genes on, or vice versa. So if you don't have the proper methyl groups, you're also not going to be expressing health at a DNA level.
Yeah, and some of the, as a clinician with some of the patients that I've worked with, we found out that, you can go and you can work on doing all these things to balance hormones out. However, if there's a methyl group depletion, there's a problem. People with heart problems and a lot of factors that, are known to cause heart disease in cardiovascular issues, taking methylation will actually improve those cases too. So, it helps with so many cases that I work with, and it really helps people it's like that edge, you get that edge. And so anyway, I use a lot of it. And so one of the criteria too, by the way, is when I'm looking into, the supplementation that I'm actually going to make our own, and I'm actually going to spend the time to put the formula together. It's something that I use quite often. Anyway, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about like what's new and exciting with us. So let's say, what's going on in our lives that's new and exciting, you think? Exercise. That's a pretty big one. Mm-hmm. And so exercise. What do you got? What's exciting with exercise?
What's exciting? Well, it's been really hot here in Michigan. And although I love the heat, I sometimes don't like being outside in it to work out. So when it's too hot and too muggy for me to be outside and exercise, I do a workout inside. And the workout that I've been doing when I'm just indoors is T25 with Shaun T. I really like it. It's kind of based around the HIIT principle, where you work out really hard, really fast for a short period of time, and take little breaks, and then work, really push yourself in a short period of time. It's done in 25 minutes. That's why I like it. And I've noticed that just changing up from not just going out and doing the same thing every day. I was able to cut my time off on 5Ks. So I dropped over a minute on my last 5K that I did. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that is important. If you want to actually perform at a higher level athletically, you got to change it up a little bit. There's many of the people I work with, it's like, they're either lifters or they're runners or they're yoga people. And it's like, man, if you want to have good health and you want to actually be fit, you got to do a little bit of everything. Get out there and go lift those weights. It's going to help build a stronger muscle base. It's going to help build stronger bones. It's going to help strengthen the joints. However, you got to also go out there and get that cardiovascular in too. You can't that's very important for a good functioning heart. So, and then you can't just run and lift weights either, because there's an issue in there too if you're not going to spend the time to stretch.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So I typically tend to tell people to make sure they're throwing that yoga in there, because that yoga is going to be, not only is it a workout, but it also allows you to get a really good stretch in. Right. And that's what people tend to forget. And I think the biggest reason people tend to forget to stretch so conveniently is because they don't really see stretching equaling results, right? You lift that heavy weight, you're going to get stronger, right? You go running, your cardiovascular
gonna shed pounds, tone up.
You're going to see benefits from that. But if you're doing that stretching, then you're not becoming a faster runner, you're not becoming a stronger guy in the gym, and then you don't see that equals results. However, in order to get those better results in the gym, you have to stretch, because eventually, whether it takes a couple years even, if you're not stretching, it's going to catch up with you, and you're going to have serious spinal issues. You're going to have serious joint issues. You got to stretch. You got to take care of those muscle groups.
Oh, yeah. And the other reason I love yoga is because it really helps with your core strength. If you don't have good core strength, you're not going to have good balance. You're not going to have good definition in your in your midsection, and everybody wants to have a toner, flatter stomach, right? And you're just not going to get that if you don't have overall core strength. And ab crunches are not going to get you there. Right. Not going to get you there. One of the best ab workouts that I love doing is just a plank hold. And you can even put one arm out and one leg out to hold the plank. You can do side plank holds. That's going to work everything, not just your abdominal muscles. It's going to work your back muscles, your obliques. It's going to work everything. And that's what you want. You want the most bang for your buck. And overall core exercises seem to really be where the money is.
Absolutely. As far as me for workouts, what I would say is pretty important for me is just finding a balance. So, as I told you, I was pretty, I was going through a little bit of an adrenal fatigue issue. I was going through a little bit of a high blood pressure issue. And, a lot of people, I'm telling you this because this is real life. Other people actually have issues, and, and I'm not going to sit here and, take the guru mentality of I'm a little butterfly that doesn't have any health issues, that
he's not a butterfly.
That what I mean? I don't want to go there, because I really don't. I don't respect that when health professionals do that, where they put their best foot forward. I'm here to be real with you. So anyway, I kind of this year I took a step back from pushing myself. Last year I was doing triathlons and 5Ks and obstacle races. I was doing all these things, but I kind of took a step back from that this year. So what I do on a consistent basis is I lift a couple days a week, I run a couple days a week, And sometimes I'll even do 2-a-days every once in a while. And then I make sure that I throw some yoga in there, and I also make sure I'm throwing core workouts in there as well, because having a strong core is very important. Another thing that a lot of people tend to skip out on. So with me saying, I'm working on strength, I'm working on cardiovascular exercises with the running. And then I also bike a decent amount.
That's one of the family activities that we really like to do. We have a trailer for the kids, and we go out and we go biking along the trails. And exercise doesn't have to be a solo thing either. If you're a social person, then find somebody to exercise with you. Have an accountability partner. Work out with your kids. It's important to have your kids and your family see you work out too. If you want to instill health, and the importance of health in your family, they got to see it. They got to know that it's fun and it's important. And my daughter loves to do dips, and she, tries to do push-ups and burpees with us.
Yeah, you should see her rip out the burpees. It actually is impressive for.
She can do some serious burpees for a 4-year-old.
For a 4-year-old, we'll go out there and work out, and then invite her out to work out with us, and then she will just start ripping out. She'll be like, I want to do burpees, because she knows that she can and she's good at it. So she'll just start doing burpees while we're doing whatever. But
or lunges. She can do
she likes lunges too. She likes lunges. Yeah.
But that's a good healthy habit to teach your kids, and that's why we make exercise as often as we can. We make it a family activity. So. Exercise is important. Make sure you're doing that. It's very, very important for your overall health. And so let's. If you can't walk, or if you can't run, then walk. If you can't run, then swim. If you find the activity that is entertaining for you. Rollerblading. Maybe you like to rollerblade. Go out and do that. If that's what you want to do for cardio. Find what works for you. One of the apps we use is Tabata. We really like that for HIIT training, for doing some burst training. So, and then I use Runkeeper. So I have a little community on my Runkeeper, and they see the activity that I did, and we can encourage each other that way. And I think that's cool. I like the encouragement. I need the encouragement. I know personally that means a lot to me, and it may to you too. Having somebody to hold you accountable and tell you that you did a good job. So check those out if you're interested.
Right. And when it comes to exercising or eating healthy or doing any of these things, one of the biggest reasons people fail is I believe that they try to take too big of a chunk on at once. They're going to go exercise, and I see it with patients all the time. Trust me. They haven't exercised in, 10 years, and as soon as they feel good enough to go exercise, they're going to go hit 4 miles, running. And it's just too much. Yeah. And so, don't set these goals or these expectations that are just too high. If you're getting into it, I always talk about the 1% rule, right? It's one of the things that I came up with and when I was working with people. And what your goal is to just make your health 1% better every day. So if you're in terrible health or that you got some issues, and if you're being honest with yourself, you'll discover that. Make an effort to increase your health by just 1% every day. That's not much. Let's say that's
you could go to Panera Bread, instead of getting their bread, get the apple today.
Right.
Make that one little change to make a difference.
Instead of drinking the whole 24-ounce Mountain Dew or whatever size they come in, drink half of that. Okay, and so it's very minute changes. Instead of going out and or sitting on the couch and not working out at all, put your workout clothes on, put your shoes on, and go for a quarter-mile walk. That doesn't take hardly any effort, right? So just do that, 1% better, because you imagine in 100 days your health is going to be looking pretty stinking good. Throw one bad ingredient out of your kitchen every single day. And so just take it very slow. Don't determine that you have to start eating healthy and then get all upset because you had to literally throw out everything in your kitchen and start over. Now you don't even know how to cook with it, right? So go very slow.
Or if you made a bad meal, don't call it quits altogether. It probably was just a bad recipe. Try again. You can follow me on Pinterest, either my personal page or our New Vision Excel page, if you're struggling with figuring out how to eat healthy and you need some recipe ideas, follow me personally, Ashley Zyrowski, or New Vision Excel. There's tons of ideas on there.
I don't personally do a lot of the the cooking, the recipe thing. Like, I know what needs to be done as far as ingredients. She really handles a lot of the meal ideas for our patients, because when I work with my different clients from all over the country, one of the things that we do is that we help them with meal plans and things like that. But like I said, 1% every single day, and don't let health scare you. Like, I know when I'm talking to people, and having better health scares them. Literally, exercising scares the death out of them. They're just like so afraid to actually have better health. And like, I know who these people are. I can identify it from very far away. And so when people are standoffish, or they're not really sure what they want to do, or maybe this isn't right for them, I know it's because they're not really truly committed. And so commit to better health, commit to a better life, commit to being there for your family and your loved ones, because it's not necessarily about quantity of life, it's about quality of life too. I mean, you don't want to be with an oxygen mask on and in a wheelchair and at like 70 or you know what I mean,
60,
even 60. So
one thing, back to the eating healthy thing, like if you're not somebody who likes to be in the kitchen, or you're afraid of spending that extra time, it's going to take time away from my family, get them involved. Make it a date night if it's just you and your spouse, or your significant other, or if it's with your kids, like get them involved in the meal prep. Have a little garden, or go to the store and have them pick out the fresh produce with you, and then make it together. And it's fun and it's exciting, and it's just, and if it turns out, mediocre, then it was at least a learning experience, and the kids, because they were invested in it, are more likely to try it too. Like,
right.
it's
And even for like the guys out there who don't cook, this is like one of those plasticity things, like, doing things that you don't know how to do, or it's actually very, very good for your mental health and good for your brain, is to take on things and do things that are fun that you don't normally do. Cooking is a good example for instance, many of the clients that I work with, a lot of the men, they do not cook. So, getting in the kitchen, and it's good for their brain, and it's good to just switch things up. It's expanding your mindset. And what plasticity is it's the science of that when you learn new things and when you consistently push your brain, that you actually can maintain brain, let's just call it brain strength or brain integrity, for a longer period of time into an older age. So when you start looking at people who have Alzheimer's and people who have the dementia and things like that, one of the things that they look at is like, were these people going throughout their career or throughout their daily life in a routine that never changed? They never expanded their mindset. They never read. They never did anything to really push their brain. And so it's like lifting those weights in the gym in order to strengthen your muscles. It's the same thing with expanding your mind, and making sure that you're constantly growing in that regard as well. So, like I said, science of plasticity, but that just jumping in the kitchen and doing that, it'd be really beneficial for you.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of food and dinner, it's getting late here in Michigan, so I think we are going to call it a wraps pretty soon here, but I'm excited that we did this live Q&A podcast on Facebook here. Comment below and let us know what you think. If this is something that you want to see happen a little more often, give us a shout out and let us know.
Right. And so obviously, when we do, these for the first time, like, people have to kind of get in the habit of knowing that we're going to do it. And of course, time matters and all these. So we're going to play with it a little bit, but at the end of the day, if it's a cool thing and people really want to get involved in it, then we'll continue to do it. If not, we'll squash it and we'll take a different angle.
We'll still be on Excel Radio Podcast either way.
Yeah.
So.
It's just whether or not we'll come on here and do this. So,
and they're great things to listen to while you're driving, while you're exercising, maybe while you're doing things around the house. It's a good thing to tune into, really help grow your brain, grow your life, grow your mind.
Right. And as I mentioned in the beginning, I have best-selling authors who come on and they're talking about their books, where their books are related to topics such as sleep, such as stress, such as, brain health, all these things. People who have built incredible businesses, and they come on and they talk about how they failed and how they destroyed their health in the meantime, and then they, regained it all back. So a lot of cool stories, a lot of cool things. And then we've done how many episodes at this point?
33, 34.
30, yeah. So anyway, you can go through and you can kind of like pick ones you want to listen to. It's not like you have to listen to all of them. So figure out which ones
the treasure box of gold. I mean, really,
yeah.
It is. There's tons of information that you can grab from any and all of the podcasts.
And it's free.
It's free.
Go ahead and check that out. And guys, we look forward to possibly doing some more Q&A podcasts. If this is beneficial to you and you like this, comment below and give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, and hopefully thumbs up. But just let us know, and then share this video. One of the things that we can do too is gauge how many people like this sort of thing is just by watching how many shares, how many views. So share it, and
if you got something useful, you might as well share it with people that you know, because they may find it useful too.
Yeah, share it, tell a friend, and then until next time, guys, take it easy.
Bye.
If you want more information to multiply your health and simplify your lifestyle, visit our website at excelpodcast.com. Until next time, have an outstanding day.